6 weird things that can make you cry. Depression is a burden many people share. According to the World Health Organization, it affects 264 million people of all ages worldwide. Though depression is common, it is also incredibly specific. No two people's triggers are exactly the same, and something that might help one person with depression might actually be painful to another. When people getting asked what their weirdest triggers were, some people told that their depression was triggered by Christmas, even by birthday, or maybe by spending time with loved ones. And for others, they felt triggered by sights, smell, or a song that brought them back to a time they would rather forget. Some people had triggers they could not explain or understand. No matter what triggers your depression, we want you to know that you are not strange and your triggers are nothing to be ashamed of. Your feelings are real and they matter. If something triggers your depression, remember to be gentle with yourself and take care of your needs in that moment. Stress, anxiety, and sad movies are obvious triggers for what works, but crying can have more unsuspecting prompts too. So, what are the weird things that can make you cry? Number 1. Watching people help a stranger. Do you remember when San Francisco transformed into Gotham for Batman Boy, a small child dying of leukemia? Or that time when you left your purse in the bathroom at Starbucks and someone found you and gave it back with nothing missing? If watching people show kindness to a stranger for no reason other than sometimes the world is an awesome place doesn't punch you in the tear ducts, then we don't know what will. Frankly, we can't call that cry as emotional tears. These arise from strong emotions, empathy, compassion, physical pain, attachment pain, and moral and sentimental emotions can trigger these tears. They communicate your emotions to others. Emotional tears make you feel more vulnerable, which could improve your relationship. Crying often connects people, whether it's out of grief, love, passions, or another strong emotions. Crying may cause others to be empathetic and compassionate toward you, softening anger or unpleasant emotions that cause the tears to flow in the first place. Number 2. Compliment. Cassandra, one of participants who has been asked what can make her suddenly crying, said, when people compliment her about something they think she is good at and tell her how effortless it seems, she just wants to tell them how much self-talking she had to go through to overcome her fears of even just showing out there what she is capable. Also, a major impact of her feeling depressed comes with thinking, how long will it take her to disappoint them all? There is ample evidence that giving someone else a boost, whether giving compliments or expressing gratitude, has a mood-lifting effect and contributes to well-being. This means that everyone benefits, givers and receivers alike. Creating a positive organizational culture is important, perhaps now more than ever. Being in the habit of giving compliments helps us notice and appreciate what's good and what we like in those around us. So, being complimentary helps us create an optimistic and happier outlook. Compliments activate the reward centers in the brain, called the ventral striatum and the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. One study even found that receiving compliments is just as thrilling to the brain as receiving cash, but are perceived by the striatum as a social rewards. Emotional tears contain more stress hormones and natural painkillers than any other types of tears. They serve a therapeutic role, and also known as a good cry. Emotional crying, which tends to make you feel better, may be a part of the healing process, but experts need more research to confirm this. Number 3. Watching a diaper commercial. Squishy bottoms. Squishy wishy little baby bottom crawling and scooting and learning to walk and, falling. Even if you don't have kids, it's hard to be immune to the deluge of cuteness. Add a kitten and we are all gone. The reason some people feel so strongly about cute things is that we have a strong care mechanism that drives us to protect our young. Cute aggressions is an expression of intense emotions which is caused by our instincts to take care of and protect our young. That instinct kicks in at the moment we realize that what we are looking at is a baby or the baby version of something. Once we got that idea, we think it's cute, and once we make that appraisal that it's cute, all of a sudden our care mechanism kick in. We want to take care for it, protect it, nurture it, feed it, all those good things. It's really kind of a pattern matching. It has to do with the survival of our species, and we have to take care of our young. Our young are particularly vulnerable for a long time, so we have a really strong care mechanism. It's as strong as people desire to have sex or to eat or to sleep. It's one of those basic things we really needed to survive. Number 4. Not getting enough sunlight to your body. The reduced level of sunlight may disrupt your body's internal clock and lead to feelings of depression. Serotonin levels. A drop in serotonin, a brain chemical or neurotransmitter that affects mood, might play a role in that. Sunlight levels are linked to anxiety and possibly panic disorder. While there have already been links found between sunlight levels and depressions, the inclusion of anxiety in research might allow people to discover more strategies to reduce anxiety levels. There are no definitive links so far, but researchers are still finding a connection. When people's serotonin levels drop, this is a major factor in depressions and seasonal affective disorder, which can happen when individuals don't get enough sunlight. However, while there's less of a connection between sunlight and anxiety, there is still a connection. According to studies, there doesn't appear to be a direct cause and effect relationship between sunlight levels and anxiety. People can and do experience increased anxiety and panic in response to less sun exposure. Number 5. When things are going well. Some people said that when things start to go well, I always get really worried because my life has a story of really high peaks and really low valley, and anytime I think I'm experiencing a peak, I can't even enjoy it because I'm thinking about the inevitable valley that's coming makes me depressed. Some medical experts classify this feeling as a form of anxiety disorder. They call it as a xerophobia. Someone who has a xerophobia isn't necessarily a sad person, but instead is one that avoids activities that could lead to happiness or joy. Examples of symptoms associated with xerophobia could include experiencing anxiety at the thought of going to a joyful social gathering, like a party, concert, or other similar event. Rejecting opportunities that could lead to positive life change due to fear that something bad will follow. Or refusal to participate in activities that most would call fun. Some of the key thoughts a person who experiences xerophobia may express include being happy will mean something bad will happen to me. Happiness makes you a bad or worse person. Showing that you are happy is bad for you or for your friends and family. Trying to be happy is a waste of time and effort. In an article from the Journal of Cross-Cultural Psychology, the author created a fear of happiness scale. Created to compare fear of happiness across 14 cultures, the scale can also help a person of their doctor to evaluate if they have symptoms of cherophobia. Some statements include, I prefer not to be too joyful, because usually joy is followed by sadness. Disaster often follow good fortunes. Excessive joy has some bad consequences. Number 6. Certain smells. Smell goes into the emotional parts of the brain and the memory parts. Various words go to thinking parts of the brain. This could explain why memories sparked by smell feel nostalgic and emotional, rather than concrete and detailed. Some people say that smells transport them to the happier times, places that doesn't exist anymore, days they will never be able to live again, or a man that they once loved to childhood afternoons with long disease. Scent is such a powerful thing. Certain smells like the air freshener their mom used to use in the house, her perfume, the one and only kind she ever wore, makes them suddenly crying. After a smell enters the nose, it travels through the cranial nerve through the olfactory bulb, which helps the brain process smells. The olfactory bulb is a part of the limbic system, the emotional center of the brain. As a member of the limbic system, the olfactory bulb can easily access the amygdala, which plays a role in emotional memories. It's also where the fight or flight reflex comes from. Olfactory has a strong input into the amygdala, which processes emotions. The kind of memory that it evokes are good and they are more powerful. This close relationship between the olfactory and the amygdala is one of the reasons others cause a spark of nostalgia.